welcome to our Facebook Live today, Thursday the 10th of July 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. As soon as I saw this long time no see stamp set, I decided that I wanted to do some sort of extending or pop-up card. And I've been desperately trying to remember, and I think I worked out how it operates. You're going to have to bear with me because I've done a sort of rough practice and that sort of works, but I've yet to attach it to a card and do anything else with it. So this is our stamp set of the week, long time no see, and we have this lovely llama here with the extending neck, and we have the sausage dog, and we have the scarf as well that you can add to the llama, along with the Christmas lights to make a Christmas card. We've got Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, Sorry I'm a little behind, and Long time no see. So let me quickly show you some of the cards that we've made this week, both at Coffee and Card and here. Good evening, Caroline, and I believe happy birthday to you as well. I hope you've had a good day and have celebrated in style. So this was the one that I did on Monday morning, and I used the lemon lime twist card and stamped some footprints from one of the kits onto that. This was one that I did Tuesday, just by stamping the llamas, doing a little bit of masking, and I put on there "You're the best." Layered that up accordingly. We've then got my anniversary card that I've done. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind, with the split dog. We've got the extended sausage dog, that's similar to the other one, and then the extended llama. And what I decided I wanted to do was have the llama's head going up and down. So the question is, can I actually make that work? So I'm going to do the mechanism first, and then I'm going to try and attach it to a card. So this is a basic mechanism. So I've got a piece of card that's got two slots, and you can cut these. I used a punch, one of our set of 3 punches, but you can just cut it with a knife or a pair of scissors or a die if you have one. We've got a top and a bottom slot, and through that is threaded a piece of cellophane, and we have attached to the back the pull tab, which I'm just going to push up here a little bit because it's in the wrong position, and then as you pull that down, the other piece goes up. It's a very clever mechanism. It takes a bit of thinking about, which is why you can see some of the tape here, because I had to have a go at where I needed to attach the tape. So that is the mechanism, and my theory, and it is just a theory at this point, is I'm going to have a base card in early espresso. I'm going to have on the front of that some bushes that my llama is going to be tucked into, and then I'm going to have the mechanism so that the llama's head pops out a little bit further, hopefully right to the top. So I'm going to create that on another mechanism, which will be this one here. This is just slightly short of this, the size of this. I have no idea if this sizing is going to work. This was just what I happened to put together. I'm going to use some crumb cake for the pull tab, and what I might do to make it nice and strong is lay those together. This is going to be up on dimensional, so this will be tucked in behind. and then there will be a panel on top of here. So you pull that and my little head's going to pop up and down. I hope you're with me. I've got a piece of cellophane that I cut from one of our 12 by 12 inch bags. This is the one that holds the designer series paper. It doesn't have to be particularly strong because it's just literally going to move up or down. So I know that's going to be plenty. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's going to be plenty. So the last bit actually is just stamping the llama, so I'm going to leave that almost to the end. So let's have a go at this mechanism. So the first thing I'm going to do is, because I want this mechanism to be nice and strong, I don't want it to be weak and flimsy. Okay, is I'm going to just put these three together and hope I've got some glue here. I've got no lights on because it's quite bright. So this is just my pull mechanism. Hi Babsy, thanks for joining us. I hope you're well. I might not need three. I just don't want it to buckle. Let's do three. So this is crumb cake and I've cut this at 1.5 centimetres. What I should have done really was probably measure my llama. Let's measure the body. Not that this matters because this is actually going on the back. Okay, that's fine. So this is my pull mechanism, and from the round, I think it's the Round We Go dies, we do have a sentiment that says pull. Just for speed, I'm going to write that on here. Let me see. Permanent marker. Pull. Okay. This is going to be interesting. You're quite right, Caroline. You're quite right. Okay, so I'm going to leave the tops because I'm going to cut this to fit. But this is my pull mechanism behind. Okay, so now what I need are slots in here in order for the piece of cellophane to go round. And I also need to look at how that's going to fit. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to cut this down. So I certainly need, and I'm sorry I've used early espresso right the way through. Let me put this piece of card on so you can see what we're doing. There we go. So I don't want this to protrude off the bottom too much. It could be a little bit, otherwise it's not going to fit in my envelope. Okay, and okay, I'm just going to take a stab at this. If it's too short, it's too short. If I get it so I know that it's working, I can always recreate it. Okay, so this is my mechanism. Okay, this is my pull tab. Okay, so this is going to be hidden behind. So I know that I can cut this shorter, which I probably should have done before I put all those layers together. It's gone through all 3 layers of card. Okay, so that's my pull mechanism behind. Okay, I'm then going to put my slots top and bottom, and do let me know if the light's not good enough. Right, so I'm going to use this slot. This is one of the set of 3 punches, and I've cut my piece of cellophane about 1.5 centimetres. So this is about 1 centimetre. So all I'm going to do is put it in like so, and then bring it a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, so that I've got a bigger slot. I bet you've done these, Babsy, haven't you? It's a long time since I've done one. So it might all go to pot, mightn't it? Okay, they're roughly in the middle. Okay, so now I've got my piece of cellophane that's going to fit through there. So I know it's all one long piece, but I just want to cut where the fold is because I want it nice and flat. So I'm going to cut that. Let's cut that in half. As I say, this is just from a piece of paper. Make sure it's double that height, which it is. Okay, so I'm going to feed this piece through and through here. And I'm hoping, because I haven't got the lights on, that you can see that. Okay, thanks Catherine, she's got a low battery. Okay, so that is, I'm hoping you can see that through there. And all we're going to do is basically make a loop. And I'm going to use double-sided tape. And you want it tight, but not so tight it's going to buckle this piece here. So what I'm going to do is put some tape on here. I've got an offcut, an end bit of tape. And what I'm going to do is put it on this side. Make sure you don't have anything sticking over the edge. Just putting these two pieces down. Have you ever done a rotating pop-up, I wonder, Catherine? Okay, so all I'm going to do, hopefully you can see where that tape is I'm going to bring this up and over, keep this nice and tight, okay, and then fold this over, if I can get it. Like that. And so this piece, oh, I've got it a bit tight, maybe. Okay, no, that's all right. So that will move up and down quite nicely. Okay, let's trim off that excess. Like so. So, my pull tab is going to go behind this and attached to this back layer here, so that when you pull it, and given that it's attached to that, as you pull it down, that will go up. So this is our mechanism here. Let me just get it right. Ignore that bit on the front. So as I pull this down, you can see that movement there. Okay, you want it to start here and then pull down. What you don't want to do is start it at the bottom and push it up, or your little head is going to disappear. Maybe that's what you want. So yes, I don't really know what its proper name is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got to attach the back of the cellophane to here, but I don't want the whole thing attached. I think I only need a bit here. because as that goes, just got to get in my brain how that's going to work. As that goes down, okay, I'm just questioning where I need to put it. I think I need to put it near the top. Otherwise it hasn't got anywhere to travel, has it? Okay. Yeah, right. So first thing I'm going to do is cut this short of that mark. I'm just going to look at my sample here. Okay, so if that was there, and that should be further down. Yeah, I've got to have it a little further up. So if this doesn't work, I've got plenty more cellophane. So let's add, I don't know whether just try it in the middle or just at the top, I'm not sure. Okay. I'm going to go for the middle. Just make sure that you're not overlapping and you haven't got any glue sticking out anywhere. Okay. So, 2 pieces like that. Did I cut that? No, I didn't. Okay. Or did I? No, I didn't. Okay, let's just mark where that is. Because I think I want this cut shorter. It's very experimental, isn't it? Okay, right. So I've got that sort of in the middle. So I'm going to put that, just put it on lightly, because that's got to be fairly straight. Okay, let's see whether that works. And all I'm doing is looking for this piece here. Yes, so that goes there, all the way down to there. That's going to move it up by the same distance. Okay. The next bit is for our the bit that's going to be attached to the giraffe, which is this piece here. So the question is, do I just have the giraffe on there? Okay, let's do a piece of crumb cake, and my giraffe neck width is here. I've got a feeling I need it on a piece, I'm not sure. Okay, so this is about 2 centimetres. So I'm going to make this 2.5 centimetres. I wonder if that piece will do. It will. Okay. I'm hoping somebody's going to pop up that's expert on these and will tell me, give me a few hints. Alright. I did say wish me luck, didn't I? Okay. So let's pretend this is our llama. Okay, and so all I want to work out now is how big this needs to be and where to attach it. So let's assume that's the same height. How wide is the llama's head? Because I'm quite happy I can stick a llama's head on the top. Okay. Right. So this is going down and that is going up. So my temptation is, I'm just trying to work out how far I need to attach this. I think a little bit at the bottom, because if that was on there and I pull that, yeah, that's going up. And if I glue it to a top, it's got nowhere to go, has it? So let's try it. It's getting a little bit darker. Can you see that okay, folks? So I'm just going to do another 2 little pieces. So I'm not using, definitely don't use wet glue when you're using cellophane. It's a bit like window sheets. So I know it can go there because it's going upwards, isn't it? So I've got 1 piece and 2 pieces. Is it a slider card? It's sort of a slider card, but a slider card just implies that it's, maybe it's a 2-way slider card. Okay, I'm going to pretend this is my llama. And I'll either recreate this and stamp on it. Let's just try the mechanism. Yes! Yay! That's the critical bit. The decoration is not critical. Okay, so this has got to go up on narrow dimensionals so that it doesn't interfere with the back, I think. Because if it was flat, does it still pull? That's the question. Oh, it does. Okay. So maybe it does need to be flat. Right, so this chappie definitely doesn't want to be taller than my card. Okay, I'm happy that works. What a relief. Okay, so I'm just deliberating whether I put that flat. My gut feel is dimensionals to make that easier. Okay, this is going to go on top. Now I don't know how many layers I need, whether I just have 1 with the head and then that will pop up. So let's fix this. So I know that that is working. Okay, now I know you can put little stoppers and things like that, but for the sake of just getting this mechanism working, I'm not going to worry. So the question is, what do we think? Should I put that flat? Or should I put it on dimensionals? That is the big question. My gut feeling, hi Carol, maybe Carol's done one of these pop-up cards. My gut feeling is dimensionals, but I'm not sure it needs to be. Right, let me see. I could do with my sheet, which I can't see to hand. So let's find a sheet of dimensionals and do it that way. Okay, I'm just going to use the edge of this sheet. Normally I would use my separate sheet, but okay. Oh, many years ago. Yes, exactly the same. Okay, I'm just going to try a single piece. Apologies for the background noise. My son is kindly washing my car for me. Right, let's just move this over. Now I've just kept to espresso so that I haven't got too many different coloured layers. But if it works out and we know what we're doing, then you can alternate that. So I've got a narrow piece of this either side. No, oh, I threw away the wrong bit. Normally I wouldn't use a long piece, but I don't want anything to get in the way of the mechanism. Okay, so let's do this one here, like so, and I'm just going to put a little bit top and bottom where those gaps are as well. There's one in there, just making sure I'm staying well away from that. And also this will act as a bit of a stopper. So I know previously, like window, what do you call those cars that go over? Not an umbrella car, I can't think of the word. They have little stoppers on, don't they? But this is not going very far. Anyway, there we go. Okay, so that is going to go on here. Let's have it up a little bit. Put it on there. And I am going to put my giraffe on the top of that. So let's give this a go. Take the backings off. Make sure that that's not in the way. Make sure my little pool is, and I'm putting this central, rightly or wrongly. Okay. Okay, that looks good. There we go. Right, so now I can put my foliage and stuff on here. Waterfall, thank you. Thanks, Catherine. Okay, I'm probably going to cut this down. This is going to go up on double dimensionals so that it doesn't get in the way of this moving. Okay, so the thing with these is always just keep checking that your mechanism is still operating, you haven't got anything in the way. I also cut some little bits of foliage. I don't think I put that on very straight, but hey ho. Alright, let's do our giraffe. I'm going, not a giraffe, our llama. So, the glasses on, I'm just going to stamp the head and then a bit of the neck. Will that fit? Yes. Grab my espresso, which is here, and give it a go. Hi Trudy. Alright, so I don't know how much of a neck I'm going to need, so just put head here. And the neck. So you'll be pleased, Trudy, your stamp set is here. So it's going to add this. I need to take my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing. I might need my lamp on as well. Sorry folks. There we go. So this is going to go on here. So all I'm going to do is trim this out. Now I know it's not going to be, oh I don't know, it's not going to be that long, but let's cut the whole thing out. I'll do some colouring of this later. There's so many different sort of extending cards. You could do a sort of Z fold that extends out, but I wanted one with a bit of a mechanism that I haven't done for a long time. I'm trying to think what I would have done. I might have to look on my YouTube to see when I might have done this before. Probably in COVID or something like that. Okay, let's just cut round these ears. So that I'll colour this in later. Here's one for you, Trudy, that you can have a go at. Some fun llamas. Okay. So I'm just going to go around here. So I stamped this on crumb cake just to save some time, because obviously then it's got a colour already to it, and also because it's nice and sturdy. What you don't want is anything too light. Okay, let's cut that a little bit better. Okay. Of course it could be an alpaca, doesn't have to be a llama. Alright, so let's bring this, yes, there. I'm going to put this on here. Oh, no I haven't actually. I haven't, Catherine. She's asking me if I've been to the llama place in Toaster. So, the idea, whoops, is when I pull that up, that's going to go up. So, I just want to work out, I don't need a whole load of greenery, I don't think. I might just get away with one. Let's just trim that down. I wasn't quite sure what I needed or how big it needed to be. This would be quite good fun on a slimline card because you can make it even longer. I've just made it on a standard size card. So what I want to work out is if that's its fullest extent, how far down does this come when I push it back? That's what I want to say, isn't it? Like so. So perhaps I do need more foliage in there. So let's go with something like that. This of course it's not moving, is it? Alright. Let's put the foliage on. I think. Around. So that he's just, hopefully he's just peeping out. And ideally what I would want to do is add a bit of colour to that or stamp it. Let's just see. I've got a green blending brush in here somewhere. Blue, pink, purple, brown, yellow. It'll be the last one. You can almost guarantee it. Sort of green. Okay, let's grab Mossy Meadow or something like that. Garden green. This is garden green anyway. Okay, so just to give it a little bit of interest, I'm going to pop it on here. Ah, I took a llama for a walk. Were they llamas or alpacas? Oh yes, brown would probably work actually. And obviously you could stamp this, you could do all sorts of things with it, so I just want, it does look a bit different, doesn't it? I just want a nice edge. This I used the Fancy Borders dies to cut this, which could be clouds or whatever you want them to be. Okay, so can't remember how I had it now. Maybe like that. Let's put those together. Just put some tape on there, I think. There's probably a much easier way of doing all of this. But hey ho. Right. Have I done that the right way around? Yes. Oh, not really. Does that a little bit too high. Only because this piece comes down on the right hand side. There we go. Oh, llamas, and she thought, yes, one alpaca. Hi Brenda, thanks for joining us. Okay, so my question is, how far down, having done that now, do I want to put this? Because theoretically it wants to be right at the bottom, but maybe I'll do it like that. A little way up, and then because this is going to be higher, that will allow me to pop in my llama. Now technically, because this is not attached, I could cut this down. Okay Jenny, just be brave. Okay, that's going to be attached to that, be a bit shorter, and then when I pull that, it's going to go up, yes. Okay, so, here's the base. What do we reckon? About there. Ah, okay, yeah, alpacas are smaller, aren't they? I believe. I can cut that bit off the bottom. So that's my, yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'm going to attach that to that. Cut that bit off there. And this is going to be flat on there. I've got some red glue. Go back out the, yes, it could go shorter still actually, couldn't it? So the bushes are here. Could literally be there, couldn't it? Now I've just put glue on there. So it's going a little bit higher, whether I like it or not. Okay. That'll teach me to put the glue down too quickly. Alright, so this is going to go on here. Like so. Alright, and then that's going to pull. I wonder if I can get away with that. I'll get away with it. Okay, let's put these on, double height. Alpacas have round ears. Well, I never knew that. I never knew that. It's amazing what you learn. Okay, this is 10 centimeters wide, and the standard card is 10.5. So I'm going to double height these so that it's out of the way of that mechanism. But you could have put the other one flat and then do this as a single layer. I'll have to look up some YouTube and see if I can work out how it goes. Right, this is just to hide the mechanism as much as anything else. So you could have pattern paper. I could also add some of that little bits of foliage as well if I wanted to. Okay, so I'm keeping it away from the middle. Slightly short either side, like so. Question is, does it work? Hi Monica! Yes, it does. So, he does sort of disappear quite a long way down. And he pops up. So, I could make this longer for him to pop up further, and I could also trim this down or colour this a little bit here in espresso. So it's not particularly pretty, but it was the mechanism that I wanted to share with you on how to make that pop up and down. So definitely would be fun on a slimline card, because you can make this hobbit quite a bit longer. And I could have just stamped on this piece. But I think working with the mechanism, get that mechanism working first. Let me find my little piece of my practice piece, which I can't find now. Anybody see where it went? There it is. Okay, so this was the mechanism. So one piece of card, 2 slots, make a circle with 1 piece of cellophane, that's here. Okay, so it wraps all the way around. And then you want a piece at the back, which is your pull mechanism. Okay, which is attached here. Doesn't need to be this long. Let's trim this off. Like so. And then that whatever's attached to this will then slide as you pull it up or down. Sort of goes in the opposite direction. So there we go. Not the prettiest, but now I've worked it out. Hi Scylla. It does work quite well, doesn't it? And I could add, thinking about it, let me have a look, to hide my little bit there, I could, as long as that's clear of this piece here, I could add my little bit of foliage to that. So this is not going to move obviously, but so I think that's what I'll do, is just add that foliage, just make sure it's well attached and there's no height, and then I can colour him in and away we go. So there is my pop-up. We're saying this is a llama then, aren't we, because of the colour. And you make sure that you're only attaching it to this front piece, not the piece that's the sort of slider. Or it could be attached. No, I want it attached to that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue those pieces on. Like so. And then the whole thing will pop up with the foliage as well. So there we are. So a little bit of fun. It did work. Took a bit of thinking about. So sorry it took me a little while to get that all together. What would I do to improve it? Obviously you could put a background of some pattern paper behind here, or use a white card and add cloud and something behind. But I think for the purpose of showing what I wanted to show, which was the mechanism, it's worked all right. So I'm going to stick these down, and then I don't have to worry about tidying that up. Colour in my llama and add a sentiment on the inside, and we're good to go. So there we are. I'll find out the proper name for it, and I will update that accordingly. So thank you so much. I will be, oh, I hope you can see that okay. Suddenly realised it was off the top of the screen. Apologies for that. So enjoy the rest of your day. Caroline, enjoy the rest of your birthday. And I will finish that off, add an inner, and I'll show that at Coffee and Card tomorrow for those that are joining us here in Brackley. So thank you so much. Do take care. I hope you give it a go. Think of other things you can pop up. It could be anything. It could be a sailing boat, it could be an animal, it could be a tree growing, whatever you want it to be. And also thinking about the sausage dog, of course you could do this, do it in the same way, and your sausage dog could be extending. So if you have this stamp set, Trudy, when you get it, that's something else you can try. So thank you everyone, do take care. I'm off to inspect my car and grab something to eat. So thank you so much, take care, and I'll be crafting with you again really soon. Bye for now.